Hello, this is Clara, but you can call me Mother, and welcome to the Studio Yutani Alien Day Megacast. Today with me, I have Alien Theory, also known as Derek. Hey, AT, how are you going?
Hey, Clara, good to be here. I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm just so fucking tired. What time is it? What day is it? I can't tell.
I think it's May, sometime in May.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm.
no. It's Alien Day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
April 26th. There's a date to remember. That's one on the calendar.
Wow, we're that far gone, hey?
I believe so.
Too long in hypersleep, I think.
I would agree with that.
Mm. So, what I wanted to talk about today uh, was Alien Day and also about your recent channel coverage, which is Earth War. But let's talk about Alien Day first.
Oh,
Now,
yes, absolutely.
you always record these beautiful greetings for my podcast every year, which I really appreciate. You put a lot of effort into them. I like it. And I was wanting to take advantage of the fact that people are locked in their homes and they have to listen to us. So I thought I'd record a segment with you instead. So I wanted to start off with talking about Alien Day in general. What was your first experience of Alien Day for you?
I guess it was the first one. Wasn't it originally falling into place on, I guess, the 35th anniversary of Alien? Or no, maybe it was the 30th. It was 2016?
It was the 35th anniversary of Aliens, I believe.
Yeah, so it would have been no 30th anniversary of Aliens,
Oh, 30th?
2016.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of the first official one. Um, Actually, at the time, it's very interesting, especially with what I'm seeing right now, because they tend to do this every year.
Mm,
Uh, I was working at a shoe company, which I won't disclose the name of,
mm-hmm.
um, Reebok. Uh, the bug stompers were the big thing, and that whole day was about me trying to find those stompers. But being in Canada made things a little bit differently. They didn't have as much stock, but it was like the whole day was, I'm gonna get these. They're mine. It never happened, unfortunately, but the chase was fun. So that was my focus, and of course, there's uh, a lot of fun stuff that they did for that day. They did, I think they did a live stream. They're still kind of working out the kinks, but that was when the first of all the audiobooks came out of the shadows. So that was kind of a big event. It was almost like getting a new movie in a sense, and you know,
That audio book or audio drama was pretty amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's still they've done four now. They've done Out of the Shadows, River of Pain, Sea of Sorrows, and Alien 3, but I think that might still be the best one. Maybe just for Rutger Hauer, who's incredible as Ash, kind of this new version, Beauty and the Beast kind of version of Ash, which I love. I mean that's always gonna bring back fond Alien Day memories for me. That was the
Yeah,
first one, you know.
I always found it a
And
bit
those
creep.
shoes, I wanted those shoes. Damn it!
Yeah,
But new
I
ones are coming out, new revised. I'm very
yes.
excited. This is my year. 2020 is the year I get those bug stompers.
I want the original ones, but they're so hard to get in my size. I've got abnormally large feet for a girl,
Ah,
and you'd think
well,
it'd
you
be
get the men's
easier to
size
find
and
them.
just do
Yeah,
that.
but I can't find them. They're not
I
around.
know you would think, I felt at the time I had a behind the scenes kind of, you know, pull into it, but no, I couldn't find the damn shoes. I guess they limit it to American purchases, but I'm confident this year I'll pull it off.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for you. I hope you get them.
Well, I'm gonna cross my fingers, cross my toes. I want these shoes.
Apart from those elusive shoes, was there any memorable things from from past Alien days that you really enjoyed?
Well, the next year was probably my favorite, the 2017, which unfortunately is just something I never did again because it turned out to be just really huge, really time consuming, and I don't know, I didn't have the gumption to retry it. But in 2017 is when I kind of called out on the channel, asking people to bring their own videos, you know, similar to what you're doing with the greetings, having everyone kind of contribute all as fans. And I put together an Alien Day video. It was about half an hour, maybe 20 to 30 interviews, segments from fans who, you know, sent me in certain, you know, topics like what does Alien mean to you? What do you want to see in the next Alien movie? What was your first experience seeing an Alien movie? All that kind of stuff. Uh, I was just, you know, taken aback at, you know, how many people actually sent in stuff, and you know how compelling their stories were and what they had to say was, and putting it all together. I mean, it was. I felt like, you know, I was putting together like a documentary or something. It was great. I mean, I'm always going to hold that as kind of my favorite Alien Day memory. Even, you know, as I finalized the editing right at kind of like the last few hours of the day, and unfortunately with time zones, people are like, it's not Alien Day anymore. I'm like, well, okay, sorry, but it was still a good memory. I love putting that together, and I love watching it, and you know, just kind of putting that warm blanket of fan nostalgia over me, kind of
it, it is nice.
relating.
It's a pretty great achievement to be proud of. So well done. Um, so now coming to this Alien Day, which is very different for people. What sort of things do you have planned?
There are a few things. I mean, usually what I would do is leading up to Alien Day, I would kind of do a rundown of what's coming up. I would, like, you know, do a video of whatever new products there may be, new comics there may be. Um, you know, there is a temptation to just do the shoe video. Shoes are coming. The shoes are coming. Um, but I mean, it is different this year. So I mean, that's not something you'll be seeing. Not one of those, you know, rundowns. But I will have hopefully at least one video up, a special event kind of video on my channel. What I really kind of hope is that one of those videos will be the last Earth War video, which a lot of people seem to like on the channel and have been waiting patiently for the last one. It was, you know, kind of always the intention to wait a little bit for this last one and make it kind of an Alien Day event, but you know, things are a little bit different now. Schedules don't mean what they used to. Um, so that's a little up in the air, but that's the hope. That's the hope, to have the last Earth War on Alien Day. If not, there will be a video one way or another celebrating, and there are some other plans which hopefully will come into play. But again, a lot of things are in the air. But hopefully, a Discord watch party of aliens is kind of in the mix. But I'll know for sure. Well, by the time you're listening to this, you'll know if it's come to fruition or not. So
Well,
that's
here's
in the
hoping.
cards. Here's hoping. Yeah.
Well, now that we've covered things like Alien Day and Alien Days, um, I wanted to speak about your coverage of Earth War. Now, it's probably the longest thing you've done, very comprehensive. You did need to take a break at some points, I noticed, doing other stuff because you just can't keep hammering away at the same thing all day, every day. How did you decide to start covering like the whole thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been weird. It's been kind of the one constant or consistent of the channel. It's been 2 years I guess. I think it was in April 2 years ago that I started, maybe longer actually. But kind of what made me want to get into it is that, I mean, like this whole storyline, this event in the universe, the extended universe of Alien, is so important, and a lot of things that I wanted to talk about and was planning to talk about on the channel for, future topics kind of depended on that context of the Earth War. But I mean, how do you really, you just do one video kind of overviewing it, saying this happened, that happened. Yeah, that's fine. But there's such important singular events within it, and at the same time too, I was kind of thinking about ways of sort of semi doing read-throughs of comics, like kind of what I originally wanted to do. What I sort of ended up doing with the Earth War was going through Alien the Illustrated Story, from beginning to end, basically, and offering whatever I could in between. So there's those two kind of ideas, and then it kind of came together as well. I'll do it kind of episodically, talk about these important events and kind of lay the groundwork and go into as much detail as I can, which, there's a lot of detail, like, honestly, with a lot of the stuff that remains in the books, the novelizations, I should say, of the novels, of the comics. I've covered maybe half of that. I mean, it's so detailed. There's you can't get everything. So I mean, that was the goal, to be as detailed as possible and to be as accurate in conveying the original story, because kind of a final decision or factor that played in the decision was, I felt, am I going crazy here? I'm looking, I'm starting up this channel and I'm talking about all the alien stuff, kind of unearthing the old comics, going back to them, and I'm thinking, well, why are these comics different? And it kind of occurred to me how a lot of people, myself included, kind of forgot that it was this original story with Hicks and Newt and Ripley, and they obviously changed it after Alien 3. So for me and a lot of fans, it was kind of, fading into a memory that may not have existed in the first place. So that felt kind of strange to me. So I wanted to, I don't know, set the record straight for myself, and for anyone interested in hearing about it. I guess, I don't know, if basically, if you don't stop me, I'll keep talking.
That's okay.
Those shoes, have you heard about these bug stompers? I'm really excited about them.
Those
I'm
shoes.
just abandoning everything Earth War. I'm going to do coverage of the stompers. That's it.
People are going to start thinking you have a fetish, AT. You got to
Well,
settle down.
I'm an enthusiast of shoes. I really am.
Oh, are you one of those sneakerheads where?
No, not that much, but I appreciate a good shoe. I mean, Reebok especially.
Yeah.
I think Reebok is a great brand, and if they're listening and wish to give out free pairs of the shoe. Anyway,
Yes.
okay, we're done with that.
Send them
Okay,
to me too, because I've been looking for a very long time.
please send them our way.
Yeah. Um, I called dibs. Which was it that did the two? It was Reebok as well. Did the yellow and the black shoe, the Queen and the Power Loader version?
It's all Reebok as far as I know. They're the ones with the rights, unless there's some
I haven't been paying attention enough, obviously.
AliExpress shoes going around, I'm sure. I wouldn't advise buying your bug stompers from AliExpress.
No, they might actually contain real bugs.
Possibly.
um, is there anything in Earth War that you feel has kind of dated because of like the way that it was written at the time?
Dated. I don't particularly think so. I mean, kind of the advantage that science fiction has is that, they can call back to, certain themes and maybe even social issues, but be in the future and kind of only hint towards it and not be explicitly about it. Um, I mean, there is one thing actually, I mean, it's not necessarily on that specific topic, but one thing I cut out was that there was a reference to the World Trade Center in one of the earlier issues, which
Oh,
I
okay.
thought was, when Hicks when he rescues Newt from Fieldcrest, the
Mm.
psychiatric hospital, he uses uh, technology that he says was used for rescuing people stuck in buildings after the World Trade Center bombing, not 9/11, but the bombing in, I believe, 93, 94.
Mm.
So that was, I don't know, a reference that kind of, I felt, that I'm not going to talk about that. So, but I'm talking about it now. But I mean, that was it was a strange thing to see in a
Mm.
book written from 1988.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of experiencing it now with science fiction and COVID-19. It just happens. Um, you live long enough, you'll see things come true that you thought never would. So it's very considerate of you though to leave that particular part out of your coverage. Um, I guess no one would have brought it up because if they read the book, then they'd know about it, then they'd bring it up with you. Um, but yeah, that's interesting to know your decision behind that and leaving it out. There's um there's a couple of things that I found difficult about reading Earth War. Um, Maybe it's because of the style of writing um, that it just I don't know. I constantly felt like I was like taken out of the like when I read an alien book, I like to feel immersed. And in Earth War, because of the setting, I constantly felt like I was being taken out of this imaginary world because too many times they kept on referencing things on Earth. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when I read alien books and you're in space and you're on another planet, you can go, oh, this is a different place. But every time we go back to Earth and we mention things there, I kind of go, oh yeah, I kind of know that place, and then I kind of like, oh wait, no, oh, I'm out of it now, and I don't get any enjoyment out of it. Well, what do you think about bringing the aliens to Earth? Like, do you think it's a good idea?
I mean, I really think that it's the whole point in a way. That's always been the worst case scenario of every alien movie. Well, of most alien movies. Well, let's not even talk about the Alien versus Predator movies. Let's just not do that.
It's not canon to
Which
Alien,
took
so that's
place on
fine.
Earth. That devalues the whole struggle of Ripley. But we cannot let these things get to Earth. It will be catastrophic. It will be the end of humanity as we know it, and as we learn in the Earth War story, that is pretty much the case. But it seemed to me that it should have gotten to that point eventually in the story, because I mean, you can only really have the scenario of Ripley having to stop it from getting to Earth so many times. I mean, this is 4 movies that she does that, right? So she prevents the alien from getting to Earth for 4 movies, basically. So let's go beyond that and let's see what actually happens if that is the case. So I think that was the next logical step to me, but that in and of itself kind of paints you into a very harsh corner.
Mm.
You know, it's not too often you'll see, you know, the entire Earth be wiped out in a story like this. It is, you know, kind of a, you know, it's a bad scenario, but it's terrifying as well. So I mean, it's, you know, scarier than certain other sci-fi concepts, I guess. I mean, just the complete and utter takeover of the world by these organisms. So I mean, it made sense to me that the story would go that way, and that Earth would have to be involved in some way, not a vague, intangible thing, but a very real thing that was at stake.
Mm. Do you think that if they were to take the story to like a streaming service or an audio drama or the big screen, they would bother bringing back Ripley, Newton, Hicks? Like, do you think that the story could evolve without being revolving around those characters? Because I think there's a danger in banking on nostalgia, as evidenced by the much maligned Alien Resurrection. Um, as much as I love that film, I understand that other people don't like it, and that's fine. But do you think that it could work?
I mean, in a sense, it has worked with, well, at least for the Hicks and Newt characters for the revised comics, where they're changed to Billy and Newt. Uh, Billy and Wilkes are the characters. They changed that.
Mm.
I mean, so conceptually, it could absolutely work, you know, in another medium, whether it be an audio drama or a film. But I mean, to me, maybe just because it was written so fresh after Aliens, the second film, it felt like it was again a next step. And I do think, you know, they're not just players in this overall kind of alien versus humanity chess game. They are, you know, integral characters. Newt especially. This is Newt's story above all, and you know, it's about her struggles with, you know, feeling abandoned by Ripley. And it is, when it comes into the final third of the movie, it is an important story to Ripley as well. The whole Earth War story, it is kind of about failure. Something very wrong happens after the Acheron mission. Ripley's, you know, taken away by the company yet again. She has to make a decision that, you know, there's no right or wrong, just either way, you know, it's going to result in her failure. And you know, she goes back into LV-426. She goes into exile. She leaves Newt when, you know, she had just previously saved her, and it's a nightmare for 13 years for Newt. Brought into, you know, the psychiatric hospital. She doesn't even know if, you know, her past experiences were real or not. And then Hicks coming back, and so I mean, it's very, you know, it's anchored very nicely to Aliens, and really looks at their personal failures and Earth as a whole, their failures in you know, containing this alien outbreak,
Mm.
and it really coming down to, you know,
Do you,
mankind's stupidity and greed and just inability to recognize the danger of this species, which is always the case. So it's, you know, all about you know, these characters specifically which play into this. It would have to be really, really good. I mean, obviously, right? To make it work without them. And I do think it could work if, you know, it could work if Sigourney Weaver were not involved, or if Michael Biehn were not involved, or if Carrie Henn were involved. If either of them want to be involved in the first place, I think it would be very important to this kind of story, uh, as it follows Aliens, as a completely original story. Without them, I mean, the concept, it's a good concept. I mean, no matter what characters you bring into it, but I mean, whether it's going to have a soul or not, I think depends on these characters. So I would rally to have them return, not just for nostalgia's sake, but you know, for the sake of the story, I guess, as it is a sequel to Aliens.
Now, they've tried to pass the torch on to Amanda Ripley. Um, and I think in a way it was successful with the comics series of Defiance and Resistance. Um, but I feel like there were a couple of missteps. On the topic of missteps, Alien Blackout is free today to download.
Oh, really?
if you want to, on Alien Day. And I believe there's another game. I think it's the Alien Pinball.
Really? Because I'm a big fan of that one.
50% off or something like that. Or
No,
maybe I've got it the other way around. I don't know. I didn't check yet.
Oh gosh. If Aliens versus Pinball is free, everyone please go get that. It's an incredible pinball game. It's amazing.
Just get both games and share your score with us. Yeah, jump onto AT's Discord and let us know what your score is.
I have my score on Alien versus Pinball. I have it screenshotted somewhere. I did pretty well on that game. I'll try and bring that up, and I'll challenge you to beat my score.
Yeah, let's do a ladder or something. That'd be cool. Yeah, so I think on the topic of missteps and Amanda Ripley carrying the torch, I think they were setting up that chick from Alien Echo. There was Viola and I've forgotten the name of the character.
Ooh, that's okay. I haven't read Echo yet. It's sitting on the shelf. Yeah, it's sitting on the shelf. Unfortunately.
It wasn't for me, but I can see.
That's the young adult, right?
Yeah, but even Phalanx was targeted at young adults, but not marketed that way. I really enjoyed that story. There's something about Echo that I couldn't really get into it, even though I should have really liked it, but I didn't, and I feel bad.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, it's just, it's there. It's there if you need it.
Maybe, maybe, but anyway, one of the characters, she's going to be in the new Cold Iron Studios game, and she was supposed to be in that comic that they had cancelled.
Right.
In I think it was Rising Threat. So I think that she was going to be the next person to carry the torch. I think they're done with the Ripleys for now. So Amanda Ripley, so long. I think it's definitely graduating towards following a different protagonist. I don't know how, if they were to bring in Earth War, how that would fit into the series as it stands now, because it all seems like a jumbled mess to me, timeline wise, because of where Earth War takes place, as you know. What do you think about having this alternate timeline? Do you think it worked for Terminator with the most recent reboot?
Terminator Dark Fate. Yeah, they just kind of went from Terminator 2, ignored everything in between. I thought Terminator Genesis did a pretty good job, actually, of rewriting the continuity, but still maintaining what had preceded it. I mean, basically, in that movie, they go back to the first movie in time, you know, via Back to the Future Part 2, some to that extent.
Yeah.
So,
Another great franchise, by the way. I love
oh
Back to
yeah,
the Future.
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm definitely
And
going
you
to
know,
watch that
that's
tomorrow.
a trilogy. It's a pure 3-movie trilogy. It starts and ends in 3 movies. It's, you know, how much better can you get than that? No fuss, no muss, no mess. Terminator, lots of fuss, lots of muss, lots of mess. So I was a little disappointed in Terminator Dark Fate, kind of erasing the efforts of Genesis, which I'll admit has its problems, but in the way that it uh, revised certain things, I mean, I thought it was, you know, I thought it was well done. In that it is a time travel movie series, so they're free to do that. They didn't have to just write out things. They could have done a better job with Dark Fate. And, you know, ultimately, was Dark Fate even worth, you know, removing those other sequels? Not really. You know, if it were a better movie, sure. I mean, that's the bottom line. If it's a good movie and it rewrites continuity, we forgive it. If it's a mediocre movie and it rewrites continuity, we feel, you know, conflicted. If it's a bad movie and it rewrites continuity, you know,
Mm.
we riot, I guess. But I mean, that's been something that's been a topic of, you know, debates of, you know,
Yeah.
back and
And
forth with myself. This is, you know, hearing about Blomkamp's Alien 5, which, I mean,
we still
is
don't
the
know
only
very much
way.
about it.
I mean, I guess that ship has sailed. I mean, at this point, probably we're not
Yeah.
going to see it. It's going to be legend at this point, which may or may not be fine. Which maybe, you know, Dark Horse will adapt into a comic someday. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Exactly.
That'd be a consolation prize, I guess. But I mean, is it worth it to follow up with a proper quote unquote sequel to Aliens for a proper quote unquote third movie? Because I love Alien 3. I mean, I know not a lot of people. Well, no, I mean it has its fair share of fans. It does, but there are, you know, quite a few people who feel it was
I,
not the
I
right direction.
I like it, but it does rank the lowest for me out of all of the Alien films. And I know that's blasphemy for some people, but
Well, I mean that's considerably low. Are you counting the AVPs too? I mean, just out
no.
of
Oh, actually, I don't ever count AVP when I'm talking about Alien because it's a different franchise. But I really do like the first AVP. It's just such a fun
it's fine.
film.
It's
It's
fine. I
a
mean, it's not.
popcorn film.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's enjoyable. I wouldn't rank it above Resurrection. It actually Alien 3 sits between Resurrection and AVP for me. So
That's fair. But I mean, we could talk about that. How we rank, you know, the others, but really, there's Alien and Aliens. Those are the indisputable. Those are the two best ones. No one's gonna argue with that. Well,
that's
maybe
true.
some people will, but it's
Yeah,
Alien and
or
Aliens.
maybe me
Those are the
because I'm
primo.
such a prequel
Well,
lover.
well, no, I mean that's true too. But I mean, they're in their own. I mean, we don't need to worry about their continuity, really. Um,
Yeah,
they are
it,
where they are, so it's not going to step on any toes one way or another. We
that's
get,
right.
you know, 5, 6, 7 more of those prequels as the optimistic Ridley Scott once had intended, I suppose.
Oh
Um,
man, wouldn't you love
Remember
that?
that? Remember
Every
going
year.
back to 2017 and seeing all those articles? Oh, Ridley Scott has all these new alien movies planned. It's gonna be great. Now here we are. We're, you know,
Man,
not
I
we
was
don't
so
even know if
excited
there'll ever
about
be
that.
another alien movie ever again. How sad is that?
Oh, I'd do anything for another film.
I know, I know.
For a TV series or
And it
something.
hasn't even been that long. That's the thing. Since, you know, it's been
Yeah.
3 years. Yeah,
And
some people wait 10, 15 years for a sequel. You know, we're
Netflix is
fortunate
sitting
enough.
on that animated series. It is AVP though,
Hmm.
but apparently it's very good.
Really? Well, I mean, now's the time. Bring it out. I mean, do what you got to
Yeah.
do. You're
And
losing money anyway, guys.
yeah, well,
Doesn't
we may
matter.
as well.
We're all losing money. I mean, just, here we are now. Entertain us, right?
That's
We
right.
feel stupid and contagious, don't we? But never mind that. Um, but would I sacrifice Alien 3? That's my question. And I don't know if I would want to, but if it's for the greater good, if it's for a better movie, then yeah. I mean, ultimately, what would possibly solve all the problems of, do we follow a certain continuity? Do we keep Ripley into it? Do we pass the torch? I mean, a really simple fix would be, yeah, okay, we do pass the torch. Let's try and bring Ripley back for one last time. And we pass the torch to Newt, who we can recast as anybody. I mean, Carrie's, she's a teacher. She's busy. She's doing more important things than movies. So they could do that, and they could start up a whole new franchise with Newt, who is, she is recognizable. She is on brand for Aliens. I mean, Amanda Ripley can only do so much with. Obviously, the effectiveness of the character from Echo doesn't
Just
exist.
remembered her name.
What's her name?
Olivia.
Olivia. Well, there we go.
Yeah, Liv.
Newt. Everyone knows who Newt is. So, I mean, that would be a very simple way, I think, to keep it somewhat nostalgic and keep it on brand with a character we know and recognize.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to do so because you don't need an aging actor to worry about, bringing into the movie. Sure. They could do anything they wanted. I mean, they could, since Newt is a girl, at the end of Aliens, they could, have her at any age, lock in any actor, I mean, they could do that.
Yeah.
That might be the most effective way to do it. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the sheer intelligence of a Hollywood executive, but I would feel that people would.
Or the deep pockets of a producer.
Well, that too. So, I mean, I'm just a fan, and my instinct tells me that could work, and it could work more effectively than just creating a brand new character. It could. And maybe Newt got a raw deal. She did. We know that.
Yeah.
She could use her own movie. She could use her own series too. I think it could work, and that was kind of the plan, and that's kind of where the Earth War was heading. At least at the time it was first being published, is that they didn't know if Sigourney was going to do another one, and if they were going to just pass it over to the kid, which made sense at the time, 1986, 87, 88, 89, 90. And it still makes sense now, and it can still be done now if they choose to do so. So, I mean, that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
Well, I can tell you that because I interviewed Alex White and Scott Sigler, and Scott did say that was possibly the worst studio idea to kill off Newt and Hicks, because it would totally make sense that Newt would be the one to carry the torch. So there you go. You have a friend in Scott.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that, but I have the conflict too, because I do love Alien 3. I mean, that's my problem. I can't get over that. I mean, I can't. I really do love Alien 3. So,
I love what Alien 3 could have been, and I don't hold Alien 3 against Fincher at all. Like that, I hope people don't take me as ranking Alien 3 the lowest as a swipe against Alien 3 or Fincher. I dislike the way the studio treated him. I dislike the amount of people that were made to write scripts, although, to be fair, a lot of the early scripts were very bad. So what we finally got was makeable into a film. But, I fell in love with the idea of the wooden planet. I fell in love with the idea of, a gothic old wooden church planet. It just sounded really amazing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I really, really, really love H.R. Geiger's concept for the alien in 3 that they never end up using, which was the lips alien, um, the one with Michelle Pfeiffer's lips. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think maybe there's one shot where it kind of looks like it was maybe going to happen for the movie. Like it looked a little bit like it, but yeah,
Yeah.
they seem to draw away from that. Which
Yeah.
maybe, maybe. Well, wasn't there? It wasn't Giger, but wasn't there some concept art for the Wooden Planet where it's like the alien? It is merged with a sheep, and it's a face in a sheep's asshole or something like that. I can't remember. I think about that a lot. Alien sheep asshole hybrid. I guess.
Yeah, I have this voice in my head with this like Hudson, like someone get me out of this sheep ass outfit. um, yeah.
That wasn't Giger's art, was it? That wasn't his. It couldn't have
No,
been.
I think they were kind of taking the piss out of one of the the behind the scenes like producers or staff, so they purposely drew his face onto the ass of a sheep,
Ah, okay.
and so they
See,
were
I
going
thought
to
they
put
were
it in
trying
the
to do like
film.
a reverse body snatchers things. You remember Invasion of the Body Snatchers with like the dogs with the human faces? That was really cool. That's
That's
scary.
Thanks for reminding me of that. Now I have to go to sleep thinking about it.
Pleasant dreams.
Oh, thank you. You're worse than David.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Oh dear. Um, but you know, let's uh, let's wrap up this nightmare of mine. um, it's been really, really amazing talking to you, and I ended up speaking to you a lot longer than I thought I would. It has been 1 hour and 6 minutes so far.
Oh gosh. There's a segment. How long is this going to be? Like 8 hours long?
Well, I was trying to make it 24 hours long, actually.
Really?
I've also got an interview coming up with Gabriel Hardman, and I've gotten in touch with Effect Podcast, who wrote Hope's Last Day scenario for the Alien RPG. And I'm also going to be interviewing Louis Nostromo, who apparently discovered or invented Alien Day along with another fan before Fox picked it up. So it's going to be a very long day.
Oh yeah. Have you visited his location? His little museum? Well,
Barcelona? No, I really want to though.
that seems to me like it's shaping up to be the mecca for Alien fans. So I mean, that's something I've always been following for a while. It's amazing what he's done.
Oh yeah, I'm
I'd
I'm
love to visit
planning
sometime.
to when I get a new place, a new house, I want to turn one of my rooms into David's lab. So
Oh,
stay tuned.
well, I'm sure you'll have pleasant sleeps there too, huh?
uh,
Get out of cot
yeah,
and take a nap, wake up with a face hugger on you.
or wake up next to shore. Ugh.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah, mummification. Mm. Um, is there anything you would like to say to the alien fans and listeners out there who have kindly tuned into your segment on the Studio Yutani Megacast today or tonight?
Thank you for listening. I love you. That's it.
Fantastic. All right, alien fans, I hope you guys have had a very, very happy Alien Day, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Make sure you check out Alien Theory on YouTube and on Facebook. And are you on any other? Oh, on Twitter, obviously. I think that's it, right?
I think so. I'm somewhere. I'm all around. It's not hard to find me, uh, if you want to.
Well,
That's how you do a plug. There you go. You know
way
what
to
to
go.
do.
Yep. Smash subscribe, hit that like
Yeah,
button.
smash that like button.
Oh my god. Sorry, I didn't like YouTubers like that.
It's, it's a little aggressive.
It
But,
is.
yeah,
It's
I'm around. I'm on YouTube. Enjoy. Watch
yeah.
some Earth War. yeah, just we're we're all fans of Alien. We all share the same passions, and we're around. We're all around this internet
Yeah.
thing.
Jump into Discord. I'll make sure I share the link to yours so that people can come in and do stuff like share their pinball scores and things like that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I will be posting those pinball scores. I know I have them down somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've got mine somewhere too. So I'll follow up with that. So thank you everyone for listening. This is Mother signing off.
Happy Alien Day.
Happy Alien Day.
Remember to like, share, or support Studio Yutani on Patreon, and subscribe to yutani.studio to stay up to date. Transmission complete.